Hello, children. How are you all? Well, I hope you all are doing good and hoping that you have already completed your homework which was given in the previous class. So, we have finished chapter number 1 and the question answers also we have discussed in the previous class, the fill in the blanks and matching on in chapter number 1. Now if you open page number 14 of chapter number 1, you will get the exercise time to do. Exercise number A you will do in your book itself. Exercise number B is give your opinion activity, so you will write this activity in your own words. So the question says, Suresh does not believe in God. He thinks that prayer is a waste of time. He believes that if one works hard, he or she gets success in life. What is your opinion? So you need to write your opinion here. Asking God activity. If you ever get a chance of meeting God, what will you ask him? List at least 3 questions. So you will do these 2 activities in your copy, but I need the answer in your words. Now we will start with chapter number 2. Chapter number 2 is Have Faith in God. Now here we'll start reading with this chapter. So children, God is very helpful and caring towards all of us, that we all know, right? That God is very helpful and caring. Whenever we want any help, God doesn't come, but He sends somebody to helps us out from the difficult situation, and He is caring towards all of us. And He does all that which is good for us, of course, but the problem is our way of thinking. The way we think, the problem is with that. We try to understand God with a very limited intellect. Whatever the intellect, the way of thinking, we try to understand the God in the same way. We try to judge God on the basis of events. If something bad happened to us, we judge God that God is not good with us. He always do like this. He never listens to my prayers and all. But this is not right. In fact, we should leave everything up to God and just have full faith in Him. We should never allow our faith to shake, because God is a supreme power. We have studied in the previous chapter, you remember, that He is omnipotent, He is omniscient, and He is omnipresent. Now, it is seen that in times of trouble and sicknesses, people lose faith in God and end up criticizing Him. But this is completely wrong. Trust God, He will surely cure your diseases and pull you out of trouble. So, God is the only one who can heal people. Uh, but what you need to do is you need to have faith in God, a strong faith in God. Yes, that God can do anything for you. Now, we'll go through some of the stories in the Bible and then in Ramayana. In the biblical stories, we find many instances where Jesus Christ cured the people. Owing to His blessings, people got rid of their illnesses, diseases, etc. There is one instance. We'll read that instance now. In an instance, 2 blind men approached Jesus Christ and said, "Have mercy on us, Son of God." Jesus asked them, "Do you believe that I can heal you?" "Yes," they replied. And Jesus touched their eyes and said, "Then let it happen as just as you believe." So they believed that Jesus Christ can heal them because they were blind. So what Jesus did? Jesus touched their eyes and said these words, and then let it happen just as you believe, and their sight was restored. That means they were able to see immediately. In another incident, 10 lepers approached Christ and said, "Jesus, the Master, have pity on us." Jesus looked at all of them and said, "Go and let the priest examine you." While going towards the priest's place on the way, they become clean and fully cured. Now, if you see here, the another incident, 10 lepers approached Christ and said, so what does the lepers mean here? Lepers, that is an infectious disease that damages a person's nervous system and skin. So this is a bad disease, contagious disease. Then Jesus looked at all of them and said, go and let the priest. Priest here means like a doctor, examine you. While going towards the priest's place on the way, they become clean and fully cured. While going in the way only, they became clean and fully cured. So these are the two incidents which we have discussed from the Bible. Now there is one incident from the Ramayana. In a Hindu epic, Ramayana, also we find an incident where Lord Rama's touch made a miracle happen. Once Lord Rama heard about an old lady, Ahilya, who had become a statue because of her husband's curse. Lord Rama just touched the statue. His divine touch made Ahilya come out of the curse and become a living lady of a flesh and blood once again. So, this is the story where Ahilya's husbands curse him and he becomes a statue. And when Lord Rama just touched that statue, what happened then? Ahilya come out of the curse and become a living lady of flesh and blood once again. Now we will quickly see this story, the isolated seaman. Once upon a time, there lived a sailor. He had a ship named Almighty. He was a man of prayer and had a great devotion towards God. One day, along with 4 other members, he boarded his ship for a long voyage, and they kept on sailing for many days. One night, a tremendous storm occurred. It wrecked the ship and killed all the other 4 members. The sailor survived and swam for 6 hours to reach an unknown island. Now, the sailor roamed all through the island but could not find any human being. As time passed, he learned how to live alone on the island. He built a small hut on his own. He used to pick wild fruits and eat them. He used to also collect useful things in his hut. Though he was unhappy, he kept on praying to God. One day, when he was praying to God, he felt a bit of warmth, and on opening his eyes, he saw that his hut was burning. He quickly started throwing water, but it failed to extinguish the fire. He became very sad and stood helplessly beside the burning hut. As the hut turned into ashes, he became very annoyed, and he lost all hope and started cursing God. He said, God, I always prayed to you, even when you made me reach this lonely island. I keep on praying to you, but now you have done too much. It took me months to build the hut which you ruined in a few hours. You do not love me at all. Now onwards I will never pray to you. Saying this, he started crying bitterly. After a few hours, and as evening approached, the sailor saw a ship at a fair distance in the sea. Slowly the ship reached near the island and stopped at some distance. Soon he saw a boat on which a few people were coming towards the island. Within nearly 10 minutes, the boat reached the island. The captain of the ship interrogated the sailor Finally, he rescued him by taking him onto the ship. On the ship, the sailor asked the captain, "How were you able to find me?" The captain replied, "We were moving towards our destination when we saw smoke going up from the island. We took it as a signal. We decided to check it out, and that is how we found you." On hearing the captain's word, the sailor was stunned. He immediately went on the deck of the ship, knelt down, and apologized to God for cursing him. He clearly understood that it was God who sent fire to rescue him. Children, having firm belief in God is the duty of mankind. Develop a strong will of having complete faith in God. Slowly you will realize that your emotional strength has increased. So what you have learned from this story is very nice. So have you understood the story? There was a sailor and he had a ship. What was the name of the ship? Almighty. And he was a man of prayer. He always used to pray to God, and he was a very devoted person. Do you remember the previous story? We have studied the chapter on devotion, right? He used to devote God every day. One day, with his 4 friends, he boarded his ship for a long journey. So voyage means here a long journey, and they kept on sailing for many days. They kept on moving forward for their journey, and then one night a tremendous storm. Do you know what is a storm? Like we see storms here nowadays also. One storm is about to come. They are reaching to many places. It wrecked the ship and killed all the other 4 members. So it's sinking. It can be maybe it went inside the water, or the meaning of wrecked up is the breaking up or the sinking. So this ship killed all the 4 other members on the ship. But however, the sailor survived. Why he survived? Because he always used to devote God, and then he swam for 6 hours to reach to an unknown island. Then almost when he reached, he looked here and there, but he could not find any other human being there. But as and when the time passed, he learned to live alone. Can we live alone in an island? Can you even think of it? No, we cannot. So but he learned to live alone. Then what he did, he built a small hut. Then he used to eat. He used to eat the wild fruits which were there on the island, and he used to collect the things and the useful things. But he was still unhappy. But every day he used to pray to God. He kept on praying to God. One day when he was praying, he felt some warmth. Then, and on opening his eyes, he saw that his hut was burning. He quickly started throwing the water onto his hut. But what happened? He was failed. Then he became very sad, and he was standing very helplessly when he saw the ashes of his hut. Then he became very annoyed. He started cursing God that I always prayed to you, but I think you don't love me now. Then after a few hours, what happened? A ship arrived, right? And he was rescued onto that ship. And what happened after that? He asked whom? He asked the captain of that ship, how did you find me? Then the captain said that we were going towards our destination. Then we saw the smoke. going up from the island, and they took it as a signal and they decided to check it out what is there. That is how we found you. On hearing these words, he understood it was God. So God is always with us. He is present everywhere. Remember this. He is present everywhere. So never judge God and never try. We should not allow that our faith to shake. So don't think with our limited intellect about the God. So God is so powerful. Then he immediately knelt down, came on his knees. He was sitting on his knees and apologized to God for cursing him. That he was cursing God, that you don't love me at all. I will never pray to you again. And then he understood it was God who set the fire to rescue him. So we need to develop a strong faith in God, and as and when you make a strong faith in God, you will realize that you are emotionally very strong. So this chapter is almost over. Now we'll do the exercises of this chapter in the next class. God bless you all.